Hello, everybody, and welcome back. My name is Josh, and I've got my finger on the pulse of music. I already said it, but welcome back. I'm so excited to be back. Taking a few weeks off, traveled around Paris, saw the sights, saw the Eiffel Tower, saw Notre Dame, had a lot of pastries, like way, way too many pastries in the best way possible. But we back, ready to listen to some music. Super excited. As you probably already know, but today is a little bit of a different format than usual. Normally here on the Pulse of Music, we listen to a whole album and we review it, react to it, and kind of get a full picture of an artist. Maybe I've done a little bit of research ahead of time. We kind of like learn together what's going on. Today, it's going to be different. As you probably know, I've got a lot of stuff going on in my personal life right now. I'm about to move next month, and all the stuff that goes with that. I'm trying to find an apartment, packing, moving, a lot of stuff. So for the next couple weeks, month or two, we're gonna switch it up. We're gonna do this different format where we're gonna listen to individual tracks, collections of tracks in some cases, but kind of taking a little bit less of a intensive approach to the things. Hopefully you guys like it. Missed you too, Nikki, in life and on stream. So make sure you subscribe so that you can get notified about the latest reaction whenever that gets scheduled. I think we'll be back here next week, same time, but never hurts to be notified for that. Like usual, we're going to be reacting to these tracks. We're going to be giving them a rating, either an off-the-charts rating, which means I loved it, sort of a resting heart rate is in the middle, and then a flat line of this thing is not doing it for me. But yeah, since these are all individual tracks, probably no ratings out of 10 today, because it doesn't really make sense. Talking about runtime, the whole playlist is exactly an hour, but we also will have less to say about each, piece necessarily, because there's not, I want to give like whatever small intro to the artist that I possibly can, but that's like on the scale of 1 minute instead of this whole big intro to my relationship with these people. So, got an hour-long playlist right here, and you see it in front of you. We're going to listen to a combination of a couple new things that have come out over the last week, for starting and ending with some new stuff. And then the things in the middle, it's a combination of things that I just want to listen to that I never listened to before, some listener suggestions. So make sure in the chat, not for tonight, but for future streams, if you've got something you want me to react to in the future, send it to me via DMs. I'm kind of trying to stick to the larger scene as far as genre goes, because that's like my whole MO. But, just feel free to send it to me, and I may or may not include it in the future. And then, we'll get going. We're going to go like this for a couple weeks. So let's not wait anymore. Let's get going. So the first track, New Way Out by Poppy. This just came out on Friday, I believe. Poppy. Also, make sure you let me know if you're familiar with anything, if these, as we play these. Poppy is someone who I'm pretty familiar with. Maybe not like some of her earlier stuff, but she kind of exploded made a crossover into the heavier music scene in 2020 when she released I Disagree, which was like kind of a more new metal-y, metalcore album. Poppy's weird because she's a YouTuber. So she like started out by playing this character Poppy as this like android character on YouTube, and just kind of like grew her own like viral fame, and then randomly was like, actually, I'm going to make heavy music all of a sudden. And she's the first, how do we put it? The first solo female artist to be nominated for Best Metal Performance at the Grammys, which is very interesting. Unsurprising. Not a lot of women in metal, but it's pretty rad. She's been killing it lately. She's been featured on the new Bad Omens album, as well as the new Knocked Loose album, two of the biggest releases in metal in the last year. So she's hitting on all cylinders. Um, yeah, Joji. I guess I always forget that Joji was a YouTuber. I don't think of him that way at all. But I don't never really followed his career super strong. So that's part of it. I don't know anything about this single. Her last album was released in 20. Well, this is not in order. This is I probably shouldn't be trying this for the first time. 2023, which was more of a pop, dark pop sort of direction. So let's see where this goes. New Way Out. Already sounds like it's building.
Poppy.
I'm here for it.
I'm in too deep. I make believe. I know the demons always choose me. They shift and twist, push back again. They're always trying to consume me. I cannot let it in. They'll take my everything. Leave me nothing. I've lost all feeling. No, I don't wanna bend to my own loneliness. I'll scream till nothing's left on and on. 'Cause they push and pull me down, and I'm forced to face who I've become. The silence screams so loud. I climb myself before the bottom. I need a new way. Give me a new way. The pain and all the pretty things are yours if you can bear to see it. You are the risk, the reckoning. If you're brave enough to meet it. No, I don't wanna bend to my own loneliness. I'll scream till nothing's left on and on. 'Cause they push and pull me down, and I'm forced to face who I've become. The silence screams so loud. I climb myself before the bottom. I need a new way. Give me a new way. Are you gonna get up? Or are they gonna keep you? Get up.
A little Disturbed reference, maybe.
'Cause they push and pull me down, and I'm forced to face who I've become. The silence screams so loud. I climb myself before the bottom. I need a new way. Give me a new way. I need a new way. Give me a new way.
All right. That was the new Poppy. I'm gonna give that a resting right off the bat. I feel like it just seems safe, right? And Poppy to me is like a very experimental artist. Maybe like, yes, her music it is poppy and by and large at times, but like I feel like that chorus is ripped right off of Radio Rock, right? Like when we listen to the Ghost Inside, their new album, like that literally could be copy and pasted between the two albums, and it would just like work on either without changing a thing. And I think that speaks to just like its accessibility, which is good. I mean, like there's nothing wrong with accessibility, but it just like didn't seem like it had enough of an emotional core, like a very like specificity to it for me to really like attach to it. But I really like the electronics mixed in with the radio rock production. I thought by and large the production sounded really good. I love just like saying, sorry, I didn't mean to play that again. Just starting with her saying her name is very fun. Like this is a great lead into a track, but otherwise it's very formulaic. I mean, down to the 3-minute and 22-second runtime, right? Like it's pretty safe, kind of like so what, but still like, well made. I guess the other thing that's interesting about it is that it's like, I feel like what I did hear her most recent album a while ago. It didn't stick with me super hard, but I feel like this is a little bit further into the heavy sphere than I remember that album being. So this is like the year of Poppy. She's just like recommitted herself to being a figure in the heavy music scene, and that'll be interesting to see how it plays out if this speaks towards a new album. But I'd take her features for Knocked Loose and Bad Omens over this any day of the week. All right, moving on. Next, we've got Hailstorm and I Prevail. We go back to, there we go. You can kind of see everyone. Hailstorm and I Prevail. These are interesting bands because these are much more like, I Prevail came, I would consider them metalcore, but like really they have, in my mind, evolved into one of the poster childs for like coworker core, as it's called, like metal that is safe and radio friendly and makes it, whenever you're talking about music with your coworkers, that's what they bring up when they think that they're trying to be edgy or otherwise like, interesting. And as far as like, oh yeah, I listen to metalcore, I listen to punk, and then they talk about I Prevail, and it's a little bit like, okay, so you got the surface level stuff, but they've made good music and they're very good at that radio friendly approach. Nikki, let me know if you think it's the stream or if you think it's me. I obviously I don't have any other information other than I assume it's you as opposed to me, but we'll see. Yeah, and Hailstorm is a band that I saw in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania, good old rural PA at the Capitol Theater, before they had even released their first album. Okay, I'm unfortunate that it's you, but I'm glad you're here. Yeah, I saw a Hailstorm at this tiny little rural PA theater. They were like third on a 4-band bill. No one who was famous at all at the time, just like some random local bands. Because Hailstorm is from Red Lion, I want to say, like a really random, Red Lion, really random place in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania, which is where I'm from. Not Red Lion, but the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. So crazy that I saw them. And then like a couple years after that, they exploded and became one of the biggest like radio rock bands in the moment. I kind of lost track of them after like their third album. I mean, if we click into them, we see that they, I hate this desktop view. I really can never remember how to get to what I want to see. Yeah. So I saw them before 2009, and then this is kind of where I lost track of them. They have released 2 other studio albums since then. So quite a lot since then. I have no idea what they sound like now, but we're about to find out. That's hilarious that I mean, it makes sense that you played them for volleyball because I know where you're from as well. But yeah, Hailstorm, I'm really interested to see this just because I feel like they are incredible. Like Lizzie Hale is an incredible singer, and I Prevail. They make sense together, but also I wouldn't have predicted them to work together. So let's dive in. Can You See Me in the Dark?
Broken bones and bloodshot eyes.
I didn't expect it to be slow.
I hope you like my new disguise. We're not the same, you and I, so don't you dare forget. In this crowded room alone, in search of things unknown, the face I wear is not my own, so don't you forget. Come feast your eyes on me. Can you see me in the dark? Are you watching it all fall apart? I needed your kiss alive to bring me to life. My eyes open wide for the first time, so I black out the sun. The only way I know how to trust someone is sharpen your knife and enter the night. My eyes open wide for the first time. I'm not like you, I speak in tongues. It's a different language to those of us who've faced the storm against all odds and found the truth inside. We're beaten and weathered and broken, scarred. We're pieced together with broken parts. Now that you showed me just who you are, there's nowhere left to hide. So can you see me in the dark? Are you watching it all fall apart? I needed your kiss alive to bring me to life. My eyes open wide for the first time, so I black out the sun. The only way I know how to trust someone is sharpen your knife and enter the night. My eyes open wide for the first time.
In the tunnel.
Can you see me? Can you see me in the dark? Dark, are you watching it all fall apart? I needed your kiss of light to bring me to life. My eyes open wide for the first time. Can you see me in the broken bones and bloodshot eyes? I hope you like my new disguise. We're not the same, you and I, so don't you forget.
Alrighty. That was Hailstorm with Can You See Me in the Dark, all lowercase. Yeah, Nikki feels very generic and mid. I mean, I feel like it's going to be radio friendly, right? So we have to kind of like accept that this because of the two people on the track. We know that it's going to be like made for the radio and made to be like maybe not a smash hit by any means, but like it's kind of shooting for a mainstream audience, which doesn't mean it can't experiment, of course, but like expectations for experimentation for me was already pretty low. I'm giving this guy a flatline, and it's a bummer because I think there's actually something relatively interesting buried in this, or at least, oh god, sorry. It just, to me, the production is the thing that's letting it down. I mean, the song itself is like a little repetitive, but I feel like truly the production takes it from like a fine radio song and makes it kind of like messy and thin. Like, you know, I feel like I counted like 6 or 7 different like treatments of a vocal. And I don't mean like the technique, screaming versus singing. I mean like there's a lot of effects that come in and come out of these vocal layers, and it sounds really thin. Like even that chorus, that first chorus, whenever it like builds, this "Are you watching it all fall apart?" This like the time that it first comes in, it doesn't have as much of a lift as it like really wants to, and I think it's a little bit of the vocal production sounding kind of like overproduced and thin. It's a lot of the guitar and drums. They're so like they're washed away by everything else. They're so in the background. And I kind of like the electronic use. I guess maybe that's more trendy now than it was when I was listening to the radio. But I feel like I don't mind the electronic breakdown, but I feel like I want more from it. It sounds like I Prevail was just brought in to just do a couple screams here and there, which is like a nice flavor, but again, like doesn't have as much of a punch as I want it to have. It just sort of feels like, heavy metal Imagine Dragons. It's kind of like the way that it feels to me. And it's a bummer because I think that a little bit of different production choices and maybe like a little bit more attention to the songwriting. Like, I hear a song like this and I wonder if this was just like written by a songwriter, which to speak to your generic and mid comment, Nikki, I feel like it's, wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't even written by them, but not the worst thing I've heard, just definitely flatline in my book. So now we're looking at the first block on our playlist, which is Balance and Composure. Balance and Composure is a band that I've heard them and I've listened to them a little bit, but I've really never done a deep dive onto them. And I believe they're coming to Philly soon on a tour. They're also from Philly, roughly. They're actually from Doylestown, which I believe is where Anthony Green is from, of Circa Survive and Seosin. And so Doylestown is this interesting little like enclave of local Philly music. Yeah, what's up, Mike? This is largely inspired by you, not a request per se, because I wanted to listen to them anyway. But really interested to get into them. So I don't really know them super well, like I mentioned. And these first two songs that we're going to listen to, Sorrow Machine and Cross to Bear, they just came out, I believe. I think they just came out either last Friday or the week before. So I think we're gearing up towards another album cycle from them, since the last album that they released was 2016. Yeah, so it's been a while. When looks like we had a couple singles in along the way. So let's do it. I don't really know the history. If there's like a reason for that long break, I would definitely love to know that. Maybe I'll try to look it up on the side. But let's get into it with Sorrow Machine, which, actually, let me first bring up the album cover, but there's also no lyrics for Sorrow Machine, and I have that. I'm so good at what I do. I prepared in advance. Bam. There you go. Sorrow Machine. Uh-oh. Dreaded fade out. No. Don't end the song with a fade out. Make a choice. That's fine. That's I think overall for me that one's arresting. I dug it. I dug a lot of it. I feel like it was like it almost had is like a little mildly haunting feeling with those vocal layers, and like almost even I almost thought like a little southern sort of feel with the like tambourine and like the four to the floor bass. Um Thought that the sorrow machine as a metaphor is like really good. Like this chorus feels very strong to me. Both like strong emotionally and like kind of that unique metaphor of becoming a sorrow machine. It's very innovative and interesting. But I feel like I want like another level. You know, the whole thing just feels very chill, and so I'm not going to be mad if it comes on. I feel like I'm going to enjoy it whenever it's like if it came on in a playlist. But I am going to like, you know, I want what is the other flavor that this band can give me, and maybe we'll find out. I also have no idea how it compares with their previous work since I don't know their previous work. So we will find out. Mike, I know you know Balance and Composure, so I'd love to know how these new singles are treating you, if you're digging it or not. Meanwhile, let's move on to the second new single, Cross to Bear. I feel like part of this too is like letting go of expectations now that I know what they sound like. So we have an early material queued up next. That's like what I was missing in the last track. They do it again. Both singles with the fade out. Fascinating. I mean, they're very atmospheric, so I can kind of understand the impulse, but like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. Will Yip, also local music star. Um, yeah, I mean, I liked that one maybe more than Sorrow Machine, slightly. I feel like it's still arresting for me. I'm not like hooked yet, but I do enjoy it. I feel like this one, yeah, I'm starting to understand the like atmosphere that maybe they're trying to create with their songs, and I definitely really like that. This one especially kind of felt like a little bit more brooding than the other one, even if it was like, quietly brooding, which I feel like is really fun. Also, like both your bodies, it that makes that, I feel like that's a phrase that makes this song a lot more like, or even more kind of like uh creepy in a way, like guarded, because it's not just like voyeurism or talking about like seeing one person. It's like trying to see maybe two people, maybe a couple. And I feel like that was a surprise in a fun way. um I'm partially wanting more from this band because like the vocalist, like seems to have maybe like a 5 note range, right? Like everything that I've been hearing from him so far is in a very narrow band of melody, and it makes it kind of like be the sort of sound that kind of washes over you in like a very easy way, which is nice. But it also like it's more like being rocked rocked in a boat on like a very gentle lazy river, as opposed to like an unpredictable wave like crashing in on you, or like riding a swell that would be really exciting. So I'm curious if they will break out of that little shell. And they had two small little guitar parts that felt like they were doing that, but um curious about their past material. Songwriting is so strong though. Like that's my takeaway from this, really, is like pleasant to listen to, and very strong songwriting. So let's move on to the next one, which is going to be also Balance and Composure, and it's going to be Tiny Raindrop off of, not this album, off of The Things We Think We're Missing, which is from 2013. I believe that's their first studio album. And so this will be a preview of their older things. Let's see how it compares. I think this may have been one of their most played songs off of that album, which is why I picked it. I wanted to go early to compare and popular.
I'll take you on a drive by gardens filled with mirrors, laid back eyes open wide, through alleys we're disappearing. Come close, stay far, I'll be your tiny raindrop. I fall down now. You left me feeling shameful.
That's what I was missing.
Even if I could, I would never let you know. So come with me, I'll buy you a raincoat. Stay with me, I'm sick of the shameful. Head up, mine, I'm lost in its tangles. I need you on my garment. Come
They actually end the song. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I think that's probably like a very light off the charts for me. Yeah, I think it's everything that I wanted from the new singles when I've kind of wanted them to be in a different direction. Um, it felt like it had a little bit more dynamism to it. Like it didn't go quite as quiet as the singles, but I still like appreciated how like everything in the mix, the vocals particularly, way more upfront and a little bit raw, had more of a raw sound to them. I feel like the previous singles maybe felt like a little bit more flat dynamically, and this actually had like a lot more presence in the mix, which let me like lean in and be curious about like what they were singing about. But it's clearly the same sound like the whole way through, right? Like the layering of the vocals, the sort of like atmospheric tonal guitars, and breaking into the occasional like heavier, passing through a heavier sound to then like arrive in a new area. Songwriting remains strong. I really love I'll Be Your Tiny Raindrop, I'll Fall Down Now. Like that's such a evocative image, especially when paired with Come With Me, I'll Buy You a Raincoat. It's like kind of thematically consistent throughout the song, but also these recurring metaphors that feel really powerful and strong. Although I will say I Need You on Like Garments being the like peak of the chorus, or like the punchline, so to speak, almost made me giggle. Just like I don't know if I've ever heard another band use garments in a song as a word, and I think it's kind of funny every time that sort of thing happens, where garments is not the most powerful. It's like almost too specific, I mean, it doesn't sound any better. I Need You on Like Clothing or anything like that. Like that doesn't sound any better. And it's an interesting image, but it's kind of funny to me. But yeah, this sounds like a darker turnover, like first album era turnover to me. And I love that turnover album. And so I really like this sound too. This is going to get added to my liked songs right now, I guess. I didn't realize I could do that. Cool. All right, that concludes Balance and Composure, and moving on to the second. This is a listener request section right here. Our very own Mike S gave me Set Your Goals as a recommendation, which is a band that I have never listened to. Maybe I heard them in passing. Maybe I accidentally listened to them, but I've never heard them before. And I don't know anything about them. So feel free to like add the greatest hits in the chat, if you will. I'm going to read from some other stuff that I looked up on the side. They're from San Francisco. The first two things we're going to be listening to is from the 2009 album. This will be The Death of Us. So this is 2009. My God, that's what, 15 years ago? That's, is that right? Yeah, that hurts. So this is, quite old, as far as pop punk music goes, peak mid-late 2000s. And, we'll see how they sound. I think this is a pretty big influential artist in the pop punk world, if not super popular. I don't really know. Let's find out. The Few That Remain is up first. Two vocalists. Yeah. shit, spoiler alert. Haley Williams.
Is it cool if I get in on this here?
Hell yeah! Dude, go
Wow.
for it!
All right, listen! I see you ready, set, go! With unqualified bright orders of your disguise explode! Watch us double up on those who try to intimidate unaware eyes. Fabrications of a buster living within a lie.
No.
If you come back, you'll have to get through all of us.
We are the spark that once would ignite when the light burning deep in your heart. The start of making yourself out to be bigger than you really are.
You will still be held to build.
A belief within me that I carry to this day.
Pass the torch, you can no more.
What a shame, who's to blame when the mighty fall from grace? Go settle up with the kids fed up. This time we want for you to man on up, right? And account for all your crimes. Go settle up with the kids fed up. This time we want for you to man on up right now. I want you to say it. I want to know why you want me to this ain't no way yet. Just why? But you don't know why. Such an elusive, guileful, meaningless sham. Come on and break down. 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 Come on, break down. Break down. Break down. Who's to blame? Take the shame. Now when the mighty fall from grace.
All right. Set your goals. Featuring a mysterious Haley Williams feature that is not credited on the artist. Wow, I didn't expect the direction that was going to go. I think for me, this is arresting. I cannot go higher. I think the Haley Williams rap. Look, in 2009, I would have ate this shit up. Oh, I forgot to change the album in the background. I forgot that was a thing I was doing. There it is. Yeah, okay. So let's rewind it a little bit. It's arresting because I can't really forgive this Haley Williams rap in the middle of this. Although I love this, break in. That's kind of cheeky and fun, but that is not the way we should be using Haley Williams in a song. And I like her singing in the rest of the song too. I mean, that feels more appropriate, but it's like, woof, that is of the era. That is for sure. And I would have loved it. I would have loved it if I found it back in 2009, 2010, sometime around there. I feel like I would have thought it was really fun. And now it just feels dated to me. The rest of the song, setting that aside though, I feel like really solid. I think one of my complaints is like there's so many words. I mean, obviously the like biggest one is this kind of tongue-in-cheek, elusive, guileful, meaningless sham, like as a phrase. But I feel like this whole song is like word salad. And it's not necessarily poorly written, but it's just like, I already struggle with lyrics, so I feel like that I can't. I struggle even more when it's just like being kind of like awash in words. But love the two vocalists. I feel like one is a little more like punky than the other and sounds a little bit more powerful. But I like hearing them overlap each other. That sounds great. Their harmonies are good. You can really tell that it's 2009 because of how sparse the mix is. But in like that's a compliment in my mind. It's like we just heard both. I mean, my God, the Hailstorm track is a great counterexample of that, where there's just like layers upon layers, so many layers of stuff just like clogging the airspace. And here it's just like you got your drums, you got your guitar, and you got your vocals, and like you can kind of just hear all three very distinctly with a lot of space in between. It's like maybe a little flat, but I kind of think it feels a little more raw rather than flat in this case. Um, yeah, this would have been good to have discovered before. Let's keep it rolling. The next one, I think, by the way, I picked these songs. Mutiny. I picked one off of Mutiny because that was their first album, I'm pretty sure, or maybe their last one. Which one was which? 2006. And this one was 2009, right? So I went first album, and then like these are the two biggest songs, I believe, in terms of plays on their Spotify. So let's move on to the second one, Summer Jam. I may have heard this actually. These lyrics are ringing a bell.
December 2604, dance that, jumping up the van for the Make Move tour. We're meeting up soon with the Warriors. We're losing money and our lunches on the cheese mat war. To the first show, we're on the road. May 22nd, 06, slowly just tried to ignite a Roman candlestick. We're traveling the states, 7CIS, a full-blown assault on the whole US. Take on the world, I see it all. Even as we get older, we can do it all over. Make our own plans, explore the music to our own lives. Looking into the future, but there is more room to move here. Invisible as we score the music to our own lives. And dreams lived all throughout our 7 EU kinships with no trigger begin. Anticipating the fall of newfound, struck by GB in Berlin. And sometimes accidents will happen, and it's so hard to keep your raspberry cool. Hey, I'm in Georgia with fireworks and Justin can't. We're all in a holding cell, but somehow baloney got away. I'm just trying to get my smoothie on, dog. Even as we get older, we can do it all over. Make our own plans, explore the music to our own lives. Looking into the future, but there is more room to move here. Invisible as we score the music to our own lives. Now we gotta react. We gotta think fast. Side bust hits, leave us delirious. Smoking hearts, rest us the sharks. Save me the daylight, bring me home. It's okay, cause my way is only gotta work for me. Trying my hardest to make the most of every minute. Time flies, and the top of the world is calling. Time grabs me by the shoulders. We're holding on. I remember the time we were on our first tour. We were out in Texas.
All right, that was Summer Jam, and for me, that's definitely not jam that I want on my sandwich. That's a flat line. I feel like it's a step down from the previous song for sure. I mean, it's kind of it. First of all, it's very like feels very like proto easycore, like which I like. I tend to like easycore sort of things, but I cannot handle the like timeline of what they're doing and all these specifics of like touring, referencing all these specific bands and specific dates and stuff. I just it's feeling corny to me. For like it's an era that like I think part of it is that like at the time I was much getting more into like metal than punk and then like the scene in traditional sense. Like I was starting my journey into sort of like Swedish melodic death metal stuff at the time. So my nostalgia I don't get that Warped Tour nostalgia. I get the like just the feeling that this is like, it's not for me, Yeah, I mean, I'll take the tomatoes. I'll throw your tomatoes. It's my least favorite vegetable, but least favorite fruit. So I'm gonna hate it. I'm gonna get covered, and it's gonna make it be disgusting. But that's fine. But I definitely have heard the song before, thanks to a Music League round. I'm pretty sure. And yeah, it without the nostalgia, it just feels corny, clunky and corny, and I didn't make me feel things. Compare that, just for indulge me for a second here. I feel like this idea of like referencing very specific things that happened on tour, for some reason, like when A Day to Remember, they have that song. What the hell is the song called? It ends with like a voice. They're like all just talking about stuff that happened on tour. It's like, almost way too long, but it's like 2 minutes at the end. I remember, the song is called I Remember. And the end of that song is just them talking about like tour moments and things that happened to them. For me, that ends up working a lot better because the song felt stronger, and then like it extended. It allowed me to like indulge in the nostalgia after the fact, but like injecting the specifics into the song didn't land for me. So let's go to early Set Your Goals. This is Mutiny.
This is a full-blown assault! Till I got fall! Take back your discipline now. This is a genuine revolt. Superior, you are inferior. We've risen like we never risen up before. Conformity has no authority. I can't agree to compromise. Contemptible, are your contracts. I will find the line and cross it every time. Contemptible, are your labels. This is a full-blown assault! Take back your discipline now. This is a genuine revolt. I am far from Roman. There's too much business in this. I'm going back to my garage. I have been completely disenchanted. Turn my amp up to 11.6 nickel. Wow, strings have saved me again. Suits and ties do not to congregate in my sanctuary. Touched only by my hand. Down here is our time.
It's innocent.
And it is so divine. Our music, we write not a single line.
We write not a single line.
Down here is our time, and we will shine. Our music, making wishes on your dime this time.
It's an interesting take.
Heroes have betrayed.
Think about
We
it.
seek for better days. Don't sign our lives away to impure reconstraints. Heroes have betrayed. We seek for better days. Don't sign our lives away to impure reconstraints. You're going on tour. We have got to take it over.
So sound the thunder.
We have got to take it over. Sign up and I will write you a chorus.
We will use your gimmicks if you think it will sell us.
Cause we won't survive without your acceptance. Can we be friends? Can we be friends? In this vast network of sharks and minnows, where the minnows outnumber the sharks 1,000,000 to 1, why is it that we have yet to converge, to take on the upper hand? Why have we been so scared?
Well, not today. Not anymore. This is us growing up, still young, but no longer impressionable. We have come to pillage.
We have come to burn. We have come to incite the riot. We have come to take it over. Heroes have betrayed. We seek for better days. Don't sign our lives away to impure reconstraints. Heroes have betrayed. We
Alrighty. That was Mutiny, which ends our Set Your Goals segment. I feel like for me, it's a light flat line. I feel like it's like right between the two. I can't. It feels like a little too simplistic while also being like obviously right on the nose. I do struggle with some of these, like, this is true across like all punk, old especially, I feel like way true, like even more classic punk than this. I struggle with when things say like, you know, this is a full blown assault, but like all I'm hearing is like, you know, very rudimentary early punk riffs. I'm like, that's not an assault. We've heard that a million times. That's like a two chords and a one simple palm mute. You know, that's what about that is an assault. I feel like my interesting takeaway with this song is like, I have no idea what this band looks like. Like, I really can't picture them. I feel like the musical comment, Nikki, that you made, I feel like part of it, when I think about it, I didn't necessarily think about that, but you know, the song mixes sort of like talk singing, sort of like pseudo rap at times with like over singing, that like almost the genre, that punk genre over singing where you really enunciate all your stuff. And like, I don't hate that in and of itself, but it sounded almost like comical in this song. I do appreciate the sentiment of the song is nice. It's very kind of anti-industry and like, let's band together. But like, yeah, it's funny because like Mike saying that they come from the hardcore scene, it's like I picture just like a bunch of dorks in glasses, you know, like myself. Like I picture like a big like a bunch of Weezer looking motherfuckers singing this stuff. But so be it. I feel like I would return to the other album, to This Will Be the Death of Us. This will be the death of us, to see if there's any other gems in there. But maybe not anytime soon. So that's the Set Your Goals time. And then we're going to move into Nightlife next, which is a band that is pretty new. I think they only have like 5 or 6 songs. They are described as a soul punk band from Baltimore, Maryland. And I've wanted to listen to them because like I really like the idea of soul being influencing punk and influencing metal and things like that. You know, there's obviously like Issues is a band that really fused R&B and like really a whole melange of genres, but like, you know, primarily like R&B into kind of contemporary metalcore, and I really, really loved them. There's another band out of Baltimore called Sherry Amore who's really like up and coming. I feel like they're struggling to break out, but they are really fun to me, and they mix kind of soul and hip hop and rock and metal together, and I really like what they're doing. So I wanted to see if Nightlife, what they've got going on. I've seen them pop up a lot more. So let's dive in. I think I need to pull up the lyrics separately, and that is located here. All right. Start out with Strange Love by Nightlife. Y'all ever heard Nightlife before? Do you know what to expect?
Lost in the fog, in the midst of what I still regret. I walked alone, in the distance was your silhouette. No way to prove what's love or deja vu, but we might just break the loop if I find fate with black and white just for experience. No. Well, if you're gonna paint a picture, baby, paint it. So it don't ever gotta get so complicated. For every moment you ain't mine, I fall back into the night. When the situation you're until we made it. 'Cause you like to assume, I guess I do too. Straight up, feels like we're going back in time. Just call it straight up. Oh, can take you serious. We're putting pictures back in, we're just for experience. No, another day, another chance for someone to make a move. So much to say, so much for you. So tired of waiting for the right one when it's you. The colors that we left behind, not fading into my design. If I can't seem to make this right, in the stereo cameo, would you wake me up from this strange love? Feels like we're going back in time, just call it strange love. Oh. Strange love, feels like we're going back in time, just call it strange love. Oh, can take you serious. We're putting pictures back in, we're just for experience. No, another day, another chance for someone to break it loose. So much to say, so much for you. So tired of waiting for someone to want me to.
Whoa, ended rapidly. Okay, interesting. All right, that was what was that? Strange Love by Nightlife. Resting for me. I see the potential, but I also see the lack in this particular song. I feel like the verses, the intro, the verses, pre-choruses, those sorts of things feel like they lack a little bite. That the mix, there's everything kind of like swirling around. Not a real hero. Like the melody's not catchy enough or strong enough to pull through. The vocals aren't strong enough, but there's like not a lot happening instrumentally. There's just like a lot of sound. And then when it all gets pulled away and it's just the bass and I guess Hansel Romero, that's when it's just sunk my teeth into me right there. Like I'll take that where it just starts, the funk comes out, and I'm here for that. I love that, but I feel like it's held back by like kind of the meandering nature of the rest of the song. And there's like one too many ideas maybe, right? Like there's turntables in there out of nowhere. Like it's not that loud in the mix or anything, but it's kind of like that's funny and not necessary. The vocals remind me of a band called Happy Hour, which is a band that I love. I don't know that they've ever released a full length album. They just put out a bunch of singles. That they go a lot heavier than Nightlife does so far, at least. So that's a kind of a fun comparison. But let's keep it rolling. Let's go to the next one. I.O. Oh my God, it's the same? This is a different song. Yeah. It's a different song. Oh, there we go. fade. All right. I.O. by Nightlife. Also gets arresting for me. That being said, much stronger than the previous track, in my opinion. Although the beginning callback to Strangelove that's one of the things that holds it back. Really disorienting since we had just heard it. I didn't realize it was supposed to be a callback, and it took me a while to understand. But they're just like, it's a club banger. Let's go 90s club banger, full on. Sweet dreams of rhythm and dancing. Let's go. Let's get it in there. And I love that. The guitars, especially like the first time the heavy guitars come in. Oh, beautiful. But I do think that it's held back by like the lack of song around it, which, like, again, if you're imagining being in a club dancing to this, maybe not a big deal. In the 90s, that sort of thing. But like listening to it, wanting to like listen to music, it doesn't have enough there. I would say it's continuing to bring more bands to mind, though. Like the Shrezzers is a band that I really enjoy. They would add a 6 saxophone solo somewhere in here, and it would probably be amazing. And also, like, the Home Team has kind of this. I feel like they are pulling off the song a lot more in what they do. They don't necessarily go as funky as this by any means, but like for a band that has a lot of the same influences at their core, they seem to be pushing the song structure further, whereas this is like a little more of just the like sound. But like, oh baby, right before that first verse kicked in, I was ready to go nuts. So I feel like I'm very intrigued. And we got one more from Nightlife. We have New Low. Which I believe this is one of their first songs, if not their first song.
I tried to fake it, but I never thought I'd end up making everything about me. show you why I shut my mouth so often. 'Cause no one wants to hear what I've been talking. Every time I don't know what was real in my head. And there's a million other things I could have said. There's a million other things I could have said.
Nice. All right, that concludes our nightlife block. And for me, it concludes it with yet another resting heart rate. Nikki, I saw you're excited for it, but did it pay off? For me, I feel like it's mostly just a little too long. I feel like it's much more of a song, like a fully thought out song than the other two seem to be. And I think by extension, the genre blend sounded like a little bit more effortless, where like it didn't seem as metal influenced, or it dialed back that, which allowed it to like I think work more as a cohesive unit, but also a little less exciting. Had a little less of those exciting moments. It's too long, and I feel like that could speak to why you zoned out. Is like for me, it's just like. It doesn't need to be 5 minutes long. Those horns, though, that's what I'm talking about. Like when those horns come in, it's like, now that's what I want. I want that just like funk slap bass, horns, great little vocals. But it doesn't have the punch that I want, and it doesn't have the experimental quality that makes me want. That makes me feel like it's connected to some of the heavy stuff that I like. So I don't know. This is a band that I'm going to like keep on my radar, but from what I heard today, it doesn't sound like they're quite there yet, but they definitely have potential if they can push this sound further. I just saw them popping up on a lot of lists and a lot of like, podcast interviews, random things like that. So I feel like they're at a pivotal moment at their career, and we'll see what they do from now. Zoning out. It's definitely not the ideal marker of a song. So just one more block and then a couple singles left. The next block is Invent Animate, which is a band that I kind of dabbled in briefly, but hadn't really like fully dove into in recent history. They just released this Heavener Definitive Edition over the weekends, or last week rather, and I think it might have been 2 weeks ago. So this is the definitive edition, a special edition of their most recent album, Heavener, which was on a lot of like best of lists. They're a band from Texas, and the main reason why I knew them and wanted to listen to them is because their singer Marcus Vick guested on the new Boundaries album that we reviewed a couple months back, and it's one of my favorite songs on the album. So I was like, oh crap, I should give these guys a chance for real. So with the release of the definitive edition of Heavener, we're gonna hear it. And it's interesting if you haven't listened to the newest one, because I feel like that's the one that got all the attention. But I found out that they've had a vocalist change too with it, so I didn't know that. Let's dive in. Nice. Cool. Yeah, that was Sleepless Deathbed. I feel like uh feels like a high resting for me. I like it. I dig it. I think it's I love the I love being smacked right out of the gate, like just how it starts with it with an explosion of energy that feels really great. I feel like this was awkwardly executed, but I like the idea of the overlapping like scream with sort of ethereal clean vocals. I didn't think it quite worked in this moment, but I like that idea and kind of hope they come back to it in other songs. And like, I'm such a sucker for like proggy technical downtuned riffage, you know, like I really get frustrated when I hear breakdowns in bands that are just like pure hammering on the low E string and just chugging along. But then as soon as you throw like bands like this, you know, it's a lot of genty low E riffs, but there's little in the middle of it that like I don't care what you play, I start to really perk up my guitar playing ears and my technical love of technical metal, like really start to get enthusiastic about that sort of thing. So I'm a sucker for it, and this song definitely has that in spades. Yeah, Mike, I don't know about the lyrics, like if the former vocalist or who made most of the lyrics before, presumably I would assume the vocalist, but you know never really know for sure. And I feel like they're solid enough for this. Is it like the most amazing thing I've ever read, this particular song? Like, no, but I think for well-trodden territory, like exploring moments right before death is at least how I'm interpreting it. Like, I feel like it's pretty solid. It doesn't sound didn't sound terribly generic, and I really like the I felt like lyrically how that works. The I felt tasting what is tasteless, facing what is faceless. I feel like is a nice nice couplet that keeps coming back every now and then. It's interesting. A lot of bands have this sound, which is my problem sometimes with these bands, is that I really like the sound, but then I can't like the bands that perform this like style of metal all blend together in my head. So I struggle to find a hero and someone to latch onto. And the interesting thing is that they're all touring together right now. I'm going to see them in Philly like a couple weeks from now. It's North Lane and Thornhill and Invent Animate. I think that's the tour. North Lane, Thornhill, Event Animate. But I would put Polaris in this mix. Era is close, not quite the same, I don't think, but kind of, but in the same world. They all run together for me, but I also like kind of like all of them. So let's see what the other single. So this was one of the bonus tracks, like the new tracks off of this Heavener. What are they called? Definitive edition. And this was the other one, How We Used to Say Goodbye. At least I'm pretty sure that this was not on the original Heavener album. So let's check it out. How We Used to Say Goodbye. No lyrics, huh? Now that if you gotta fade out, that's how you fade out, I think. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm struggling. I'm between the two. I think it's still just a resting for me. It's a high resting. Um, Obviously a lot more accessible than the first song, which is just like like progressive metal. Here we go. Um, but I love that about this. Like I love the accessibility of it. I mean, Marcus Vick, the vocalist, is like cleans are so ethereal and like gorgeous. Um, that ending, that last line, "I've fallen away, let me forget your name," just how light it feels is like it sounds beautiful. Um, this is a band that sounds like they can like actually make something beautiful. We get in and out of it in this song, but I feel like there's potential in there to make something truly beautiful. Meanwhile, this is more like, I feel like this is a gentler Dayseeker is kind of how I'm listening to it right now. And I really like Dayseeker, so that's not a bad thing at all. Like a more progressive Dayseeker. Those like bubbly synths in the bridge is a fun new layer that I really enjoy. But I feel like where it let me down was like the breakdown felt a little messy and hard to latch onto at the end. You know, like it just felt kind of busy. Whereas like I feel like there's potential to make it really like chaotic and like really break apart, like really break down in the breakdown. So yeah, like close. Like this band is like close for me, but not quite there yet. Let's move on to their last song, which is going to be Courier from Everchanger. And Everchanger is their first album, which has, as I mentioned earlier, different vocalists. Their first two albums, I believe, had different vocalists, maybe three. Don't quote me here. I'm trying to find it quickly on the side. But oh nope, Marcus Vick came in with the third album, so not Heavener, the album before Heavener. So I was wrong. But regardless, Everchanger features Ben English on vocals, who stepped away from the band because he just felt like it was too much. He went on tour and eventually was like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's getting to be overwhelming. It's not what's in my heart. And so they parted on very good terms, and he is a champion of the band, and the band still likes him, which is like, it's nice when that happens with music. Let's hear him. Hot out of the gate.
So
Sweet. Yeah, I feel like similarly, it's pretty similar to the last one, I guess. I don't know. I'm torn. I'm torn. Let's fuck it. Call it an off the charts. Um, I think this one beats it just because I am a bigger fan of the lyrics on this. To your point from before, Mike, I think it's much more confessional. You know, this is much more not it's not that it's more personal, but I feel like this little bit more direct approach. But it feels like it's direct without sacrificing kind of the intricate meaning behind what they're trying to say. I feel like it's really strong. So that maybe puts it over the edge with the Marcus Vick tracks. I do think Marcus's cleans sound a little bit better, like a little more ethereal and like a angelic almost. But this was also released in 2014, I want to say, right? Did we already establish that? So it had a little bit different of a production approach, I'm sure, by then. Yeah, 2014. So that was the main change that I heard too, is like the production sounds way less polished on this. Not in a bad way. I think actually it sounds a little bit more organic. Like the newer stuff sounds a little more sterile, which is less to do with Invent Animate and more to do with just that part of the genre as a whole. I find those songs to often feel very sterile. But mostly I just like didn't expect the sound to be so similar. I feel like this song, it almost feels like they hatched fully formed from the egg, right? Like, and they've just continued to make their music along the way. I feel like it's they didn't need to grow very far from this, which is really rad. I think this is a band that I really need to do a deep dive on, like for myself, just to explore their sound, see what sticks, what doesn't, because I really dig it as a whole. So we're almost done with the night. Got 2 more to go. Coming up next is Wind Waker, which hilariously is also on the tour with Invent Animate. So we'll see if they fulfill the prophecy that you must sound similar to North Lane and Thornhill in order to be on the tour. But they are Aussies. They are from Australia, from Melbourne, and they're pretty new-ish. They have 1 EP, which was released 2 years ago, and this is a new single that just came out, I believe also on Friday. So let's check it out. I don't know what to expect. It's all like me, Nikki.
What the fuck is on your mind?
Well, this is the night where we have rap rock, I guess. Didn't expect so much of that coming into tonight. Um, okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like for me that's arresting. I feel like that's they kind of maybe blew it at the end there in my mind. Like I mean, for someone I feel like I often claim Linkin Park as like my favorite band of all time. So you'd think that adding rap to metal, I'd be all in automatically, but I just feel like it makes me recoil so much in the middle of a song, which does not need it. Um, I feel like it's decent. It's like straight away, right? They don't sound like the others, like Invent, Animate, Thornhill, that crew. I mean, you can hear kind of, at least with this song, you can hear them like step into that territory a little bit, like in the pre-chorus. But for the most part, this is just like a catchy, contemporary metalcore song, right? Like I feel like they're at home with New Wage War, for instance. You know, I think that they would be perfectly at home there. I'd be interested to check out their other stuff though, just to see if it's all in this like accessible hit single land, or like when they're obviously, I mean, if you have an album, you can't have all, 10 singles on the album. So it'll be curious to see where they lean into. Do they lean away from heaviness? Do they lean towards heaviness? I don't know, but I'll be curious. And I'm really curious to see if the hip hop influence shows up elsewhere, or if that's just a total one-off random thing for this. So yeah, they're opening the tour, which makes sense because I feel like most people going to that tour are not going to be looking for a song that sounds like that. So let's end the night with some Fox Cult, featuring Tom Weaver of the band Casey. And Fox Cult is a band that I know nothing about. They are on this list mostly because I saw some like lists recently that said, "Hey, you should listen to these women and non-binary artists in rock," or I don't remember, pop punk maybe they said it. I don't want to say a genre in case they don't fit that genre, but I saw a couple lists of that, and Fox Cult made those lists, and I thought, like, let's hear it. They are also billed, I believe they're all trans, which is like really awesome to have an all trans band, period, let alone an all trans bands like potentially start to break out. So let's see how they sound. This is called Gemini 4, and I gotta get the lyrics back up for us. All right. Fox Cult, Gemini 4.
One last horizon left to break before the end. When everything you wanted goes
right. Fox Cult. That's an off the charts for me. Is it perfect? No, but I feel like it is. This makes me lean forward in so many ways. This makes me really like, this would be the number one band of tonight that I want to listen to more of, just to see what they've got going on. I feel like the vocals are solid. They like show a bunch of different colors. As far as like they're, I feel like it was just for like one or two lines having like a little scream at the end, but obviously they can like do scream, they can do unclean and clean vocals. So that's like an exciting tool to have in the toolbox. I feel like it builds to something like cinematic. This feels like a band building a world, and especially with like the title of the song being Gemini 4 and all the lyrics were being kind of around, falling to the earth, these sort of a hero's return. This feels very cinematic and sci-fi adjacent. The electronic processing contributes to that, and it makes me wonder if that's what they're doing. And if this is just like for a song, then I'm very interested. But otherwise, this could be like a full-blown, narrative that they're building here, that would be really exciting. Main criticisms I have is that like the chorus needs a little more catchiness. I feel like it's not it's a decent chorus, but it doesn't make me like want to sing along. It doesn't like, it's not earworming in my brain. And then it also, I feel like the production is like a little thin, if I need to say so. Like I feel like it feels similar to was it the Poppy song, I believe. It just feels like, no, it was a Hailstorm song. It feels like there's not enough punch to some of the production choices. The vocals, particularly in Audrey's vocals in the chorus, need a little bit more punch from the production, and like some of the other instruments would benefit from that as well. But hey, man, I dig this. And to like be visibly an all trans band, making stuff like that, like they're not very popular. They have 24K monthly listeners. They don't have that many songs. I don't know if they have a full album out either. It's just like a bunch of singles. Like, I'm going to be checking them out. That's for sure. And that concludes our stream for tonight. Thanks for joining. This is a new format. I'm probably going to be rolling with this format for a couple weeks. Definitely it's going to be eclectic. It's going to be all over the place. It's going to be uninformed. It's going to be wildly uninformed and just very off the cuff. But it's an easy way for me to get back into the rhythm of streaming with all the other crap going on in my life. So, as I mentioned before, if you have songs or artists that you want me to react to, particularly so if they're in this like larger umbrella of the scene, and obviously that's a big umbrella with all the stuff that we listened to today, please send them to me, DM me. I'm on all the platforms. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok, subscribe to the channel. Like, send me what you got. Doesn't matter if it's new or if it's old, as long as it kind of fits in the larger umbrella of the sort of music that we're trying to focus on here. And we'll be back next week. I don't know what we'll be reacting to yet. I'm going to assemble that playlist in the next couple of days, probably. Otherwise, I hope to see you then. Same time, same place, 8 p.m. on Tuesday next week. Remember that my name is Josh, and I've got my finger on the pulse of music. See you next week, everybody.